Oh, really? You don't call me! You don't call me! I need you. I don't know. We educated each other. I think they're right on the Patriots. That's that right. I mean, not to go fly, obviously that would be better. But that's why you have to be in the water. 30 what?
Before I get into the speakers, to give you a little bit more information about what's going on, we have Ava Aston. She is a recording artist. She will be singing the Star Spangled Banner. We have a whole bunch of flags here. So everybody, put your hands together for Ava. And she's going to sing the Star Spangled Banner.
Thank you so much for coming out.
Lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll get started.
Good evening, everybody out here, and thank God for the opportunity to be here today. I'm going to do the pledge of allegiance, and I changed it up. I didn't change it up, but one of my friends changed it up a little bit, and we're going to recite the pledge of allegiance because this is the time that we are in tyranny. So we're going to say the pledge of allegiance, and here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and its Constitution, upon which our free republic stands, one nation under God, indivisible, free from tyranny, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have a copy of this new pledge of allegiance before you leave? Thank you, Karen.
That was a great rendition of the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, Barry. So, you put the sign out. One thing. So as all of you here know today, you're very aware, we have to get this out to the public more. constitutional rights have been defied. They are being held without bail. They are being held in DC jail right now. Some of them have been in there since January 6th. In solitary confinement, 23 and a half hours a day, tortured by the United States government. A good majority of these guys are veterans of foreign wars, decorated veterans. And this is what the federal government does to them. Disrespects them and throws them in prison before they are even convicted of a crime. It's terrible. And we need to let them go. That's the channel today. Let them go! 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 Protesters are not terrorists. They're trying to paint these guys as terrorists. The media has gone out of their way to demonize these guys. The politicians don't have the backbone to stand up, and that includes a lot of Republicans who are pathetic to stand up for these people. It is not okay to treat American citizens like terrorists. Who's next? As I'm sure you're all aware of the poem by the Lutheran priests from World War II. First they came for the socialists, then they came for the trade unionists. I didn't say anything because I wasn't a socialist or a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews. I didn't say anything because I wasn't a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was nobody left to stand up for me. And that applies today. If we let them get away with railroading these guys, then who is next? What group is next that disagrees with the government and that opposes their policies? Joe Biden called the protesters from January 6th domestic terrorists. So did Nancy Pelosi. So boo to Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden for speaking so ill of American citizens. There were over 1 million people there that day on January 6th in Washington, D.C. I was one of them. And you're going to call 1 million people domestic terrorists? Joe Biden, you are a traitor for saying that. Nancy Pelosi is trying to push through a special select committee for the January 6th fake insurrection. She has no right to be doing so. Has some involvement. She told the National Guard to stand down. She thought it would look bad optically. So she's biased and she should not be called for any committee. Lock her up. She is the one that belongs in prison, not American patriots, not veterans of war. We are furious, Nancy Pelosi. Lock her up. 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 That's why she wants control of this commission, so that she can hide any evidence. And a lot of evidence, as you all know, has been coming to the surface about what really happened that day. We actually have a speaker here today who will talk on that. Bob Powell, he's a journalist, and he actually was there that day, and he got a lot of video that the FBI is completely ignoring because it shows that there was infiltration that day. He's coming up next. I'm going to announce the first speaker, and that is Mark. Mark, you're first. This is my friend Mark. He's a politician, but I consider him more of a friend. He was with me. He has a special place in my heart. Anybody that was there on January 6th knows that the person that was by your side, it's almost like we went to war together, right? It wasn't a war, but the things that we witnessed together. It's something that I can't even, you just had to be there. And you had to be there to understand that it was not an insurrection. It could have been any one of us, anybody who was there that day, that was unlucky enough to be standing by the doors when police were letting people through. Any one of us would have walked in, and then right now we would be arrested, detained, and politically persecuted. So that could have been any one of us. It could have been me or Mark. But we were lucky because we were so close to Trump by the time we got to the Capitol. Everything had already happened. So Mark is running for City Council. What district? District 47 in Brooklyn, South Brooklyn. But he's not here to talk about politics today. He's here to speak out against political persecution. So everybody put your hands together for Mark.
Say her name, right? That's the same when somebody dies by the police department. Say her name, say his name. Well, her name in this case is Ashley Babbitt, okay? And she was not a career she was a veteran that served this country and died on the hands of a police law enforcement, okay? Now, if this was a Black Lives Matter protest, we would still be having riots in the street. But in this case, it's an open check case. Nobody cares about it. Nobody's saying her name. Nobody's talking about her, okay? If any of you that watched the video, there was not a need for deadly force. She was climbing through an opening. He could have pushed her back with one hand instead of shooting. He could have fired a warning shot. But nobody seems to care. They're treating all of the protesters that were there on January 6th as if they were domestic terrorists. This is completely ridiculous. They're still holding prisoners that did nothing wrong, did nothing violent. And we are out here to say that we're not going to forget about Ashley Babbitt. We're not going to forget about the people that are sitting in prison right now because it is completely unacceptable. It is called cruel and unusual punishment. It is unconstitutional, and we are not going to stand for it. Let them go! 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 On January 6th. Myself and Carol were a few blocks away from Trump, luckily we got right in the front of it. I heard every word that the president said, and there was nothing that remotely incited a riot, okay? The next thing that was on the schedule was an actual peaceful protest in front of Capitol Hill. It wasn't because of Trump or anything like that. It was on the schedule. Everyone knew about it days in advance. We had Trump speakers that were supposed to do it. City Mitch was one of them. We were there to stop the steal. I was also there about a month prior to the Supreme Court. When they did two police officers barricades and hundreds of thousands, we don't raid the Supreme Court and try to say, we need to vote this way. That's not what we do. We were there peacefully protesting. They had people that were led by the police department. They didn't see what we did. We charged the police and ran them over and demanded violence and demanded justice. That's not what we did.
Man, it's been good. I've been running around this campaign.
Myself and Cara got tear gas. We weren't even here before. I'm not going to stand for it. I'm not going to stand for it. The other people here, each and every single one of you want to let them go. So that's exactly what we're here for today. Let them go. Let them go. Let them go. Let them go. Until the day I die. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mark. And like Mark said, it's regular people that need to be running for office right now because the politicians are completely fake and calling them out their phone. I contacted so many politicians, Republicans and Democrats, none of them wanted to touch this because it's too quote-unquote dirty subject. We want to keep our hands off January 6th. It might be bad for our image. You're disgusting. Republicans and Democrats are not standing up for human rights. Okay? The people, it's up to us to stand up to the government, the federal government, and say this is enough. Your local politicians need to be contacted, and you need to set fire into them. Everybody should be contacting their local and national representatives, and we will have a letter up on the website this week that you can send to them, telling them that this is unacceptable. They need to fight for us. They need to fight for Americans. They need to fight for these guys in D.C. because if it can happen to them, who is next? I'm going to call up another good friend of mine who's a sweetheart. Tina, are you here? Tina, okay, she is not a politician. That's why she's running for office. That is what we need. People who are not politicians. Everyone knows her as Tina 40, internet sensation, because of, she just
patriotic Americans who showed up in Foley Square today in New York. I am so sorry I could not make it there in person. I am completely overwhelmed about 5 of these new January 6 cases that came in yesterday. I think I have about 20 cases and counting. I am pretty much working around the clock on these, and all the calls and emails from these new cases made me late trying to find parking at LAX, which was impossible to begin with since someone jumped out of a moving plane on the tarmac yesterday. So I really wish I could be there with you in person. I'm sorry I couldn't. As you all know, we are in very dark times in this country. Many of our fellow citizens sit in solitary confinement for months on end before they even have their trial. While those who burn down cities like Kenosha, Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis, and Los Angeles face essentially no consequences for their actions. It is difficult to not conclude that we face 2 separate systems of justice in this country. While I can't talk specifically about the January 6th defendants in detail because I am a lawyer in so many of those cases, I can tell you this. We are going to take every single one of these cases to trial if we have to in order to seek full acquittals and, most importantly, to find out exactly what actually happened on January 6th. Who planned it, how it got started that day, and who or what organization is truly responsible. We're going to put a lot of people on the witness stand, and I think a lot of people are going to be surprised by the answers that we get to those questions. A lot of people ask me what they can do to help. There are 2 extremely important and straightforward answers. Number 1, pray as much as you can for your fellow citizens who are now locked up by the government in what is essentially solitary confinement in D.C. Also, please pray for me and other defense counsel in these cases. You cannot imagine the vicious and relentless attacks and death threats we are receiving from every direction. It is not easy, but we have no choice. We must stand up and fight for these defendants until the very end. Second, please donate as much as you can to the NCLU, that is the National Constitutional Law Union. The NCLU is like the ACLU for the rest of us. It is the organization I founded a few weeks ago that is spreading like wildfire and that is helping to fund the litigation costs and fees of these January 6th cases. It is so important we raise money for this. Please donate as early and as often as you can at www.nclu.com and help spread the word to friends and family. We simply cannot do this without your help. And by the way, the NCLU does not simply support the January 6th cases. We are losing our God-given freedoms every day. We are losing our Constitution. And that is what the NCLU is here for, to help save the Constitution. We are losing our First Amendment due to cancel culture and big tech. We are losing our Second Amendment as every level of government seems to attack that sacred right every day. We are losing our Fourth Amendment as the surveillance state seems to be what we live in these days. And the notion of innocent until proven guilty has been turned on its head, and it now seems to be guilty until proven innocent. The military seems to have become as woke as Antifa. The federal government has completely outgrown its progress and scope of the Constitution, and on and on and on and on. The NCLU is going to be fighting to roll back all of those things over the coming months and years. Please help us in any way you can. I want to mention my clients who are detained as we meet here today: Chris Morrell, Ryan Sancho, James McGrew, and others. Stay strong, gentlemen. We are never leaving your side. Finally, I want to give a special shout out to Matt Raynor and his organization Look Ahead America. They were the ones that got this momentum rolling last weekend at the rally we had and others in front of the Department of Justice. Matt is a warrior, and we all need to support Look Ahead America, and of course we need to support terrorist strike group Citizens Against Political Persecution. As you see here, is a dynamo to say the least. Thank you all so much. God bless you, and God bless our fellow citizens who are in prison tonight while waiting their day in court.
And there has to be more lawyers like you in the United States, because the lawyers are all afraid to go back. They're just afraid right now, and that's so sad. That's so sad. So I have such a special guest last minute speaker for you guys. I'm so interested myself in and what he has to say. I came across him on Twitter, a video I saw, and I reached out to him, and he decided to just come here from Florida, right? From Florida. He's an investigative journalist now. You know that's like a dying breed in America. He actually does investigations. He was there the day at the Capitol, and he got really good footage of stuff that was going on inside. And he's been trying to share this, from what I understand, with the FBI, and they haven't really been that receptive because the footage he has actually shows that there was infiltration. I wonder why they don't want to have that footage. So this is Bob Powell. He works for The Truth is Viral, and he's the editor-in-chief of The Truth is Viral, so follow that website. And he's also a Marine. So thank you for your service, Bob. Super fun. So everybody, this is Bob Powell. Give him a hand.
Okay, these guys have fired you up, right? I'm here to piss you off. My name is Bob Powell, and I was invited to speak here today because I have proof that there was indeed an insurrection at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. But that insurrection was not carried out by support of President Trump. I am in possession of video and documentary evidence that proves that Nancy Pelosi engaged in a seditious conspiracy with the Capitol Police and the FBI to attack this nation. Nancy Pelosi, in her official capacity as the United States House of Representatives, refused an offer from President Trump to deploy National Guard on the Capitol on January 6th because she knew that if he did, her plan would fail. I recorded information of 8 Capitol Hill police officers leaving a broken window undefended with a mob beating the doors down 30 feet away after receiving orders to displace by a voice on the radio. This allowed a man that I have identified as an undercover FBI agent to rip the broken window from its frame and urge protesters to go inside. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a United States Marine. The FBI swore to protect this nation from all enemies, foreign and domestic, has no expiration date. I don't care if you're wearing a Trump hat or carrying an American flag. Nobody was going in that window as long as I was standing there, and nobody did. Now, 10 minutes later, I captured video of another FBI agent who was literally pushing people through the doors at the east entrance of the Capitol. I gave the FBI 29 minutes of high-definition footage on January 15th. To date, this moment, not a single frame of that video, not one still photograph of either of these men has appeared on the FBI's website when they asked for help identifying those who were Capitol that day. The FBI has not uploaded a single second of my footage to their YouTube channel, nor have they posted any images of these men on their Facebook page. They're posting all kinds of fuzzy images of people milling around outside the Capitol, and they have chosen not to publish any of the HD images and video that I recorded. Whoever these two men are, they have not been arrested because I have personally checked over 450 indictments. The FBI is not looking for them, nor are they asking the public for help in finding them. I have emailed the FBI multiple times, volunteering to come in for an interview, but I've heard nothing but crickets. An email officially requesting comment on the following questions was sent to the media office in May, and it has not been returned. Number 1, who gave the order to that squad of 8 Capitol Hill police officers to leave that window undefended? Number 2, who were the 2 men who acted calm with a military barrier as if they were carrying out orders? They put that window from the frame and tried to push me and others inside the Capitol. Number 3, I provided the FBI with 29 minutes of high-definition video, yet no images of these 2 men are anywhere to be found. The FBI has not arrested them, does not appear to be looking and is not looking for input from the public to ascertain their identities. This is a fact. My viewers and I would really like to know why. I would like everybody to take note of the fact that I am not in FBI custody. The Federal Bureau of Insurrection is scared to death to take my footage and put it in front of a judge to see a warrant for my arrest, because they know it will expose their plot. Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, giving you the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th. And it breaks my heart to say it. I grew up respecting the FBI, cut my teeth and served with the FBI and I think I ain't necessarily been the last FBI agent to have any honor. I remember Whitney Ridge, the highly trained FBI sniper Von Horn, who shot Vicki Weaver, an innocent, unarmed woman who was holding a baby in her arms, right in the face. But from here to tell you that except to Marine snipers, HRT snipers are the best in the world, and they always help their enemies. So there is no doubt in my mind that exactly what you do. The federal government was forced to pay $3 million to his family as a result of that incident. Was Horn to punish? No, not at all. In fact, he was sent to waiting, but the custom had showed people in his face, taking shots and raised the videos as they were fleeing the public enemy.
Well, that's what Gavin said also.
I was not convicted during the run of the time. But funny. Hey, my brother. Either things are good, it's still in the flag or not. So tell me the truth about what was really happening in the Maui National Wildlife Reserve and the zoo of Foley. An FBI agent fabricated Form 302. That is an FBI agent's handwritten account of an entity. The problem is that anything that exists today. An FBI agent fabricated evidence to arrest American citizens for a crime he did not commit. And that brother, agencies said he had spent 619 days in federal custody, denied the possibility of bail based on a lie. A lie cooked up by a federal agent. Was that something ever punished? No. It was nothing. But he made that jump turn it on. FBI agents falsified evidence in order to secure FISA warrants to launch their state Trump-Russia investigation. They lied to the court. And anybody watching them, man, you can be arrested and thrown in prison for as long as they can keep you straight. More than 2,000 senior FBI officials, including the former FBI director, Foley, resigned or were demoted. Only one low-level functionary was actually convicted of the crime, and he was on the second list. You're standing in the Senate of New York Supreme Court building the same night, and then their charges were dropped by Justice prosecutor. A sharp contract. Negligence before you were arrested by the FBI and no justice as a result of their actions on January 6th was still violation of the DC good law. In solitary confinement, suffering abuse at the hands of their jailer. Oh, hell no, enough of that. I don't think I'm going to let that happen anymore. What I do? Let them go! 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 I'm here today to demand that the federal government release these prisoners, grant them bail, and let them return home to await trial. It's more than just a cute slogan. You need to, stand up and say something. It's up to each one of you to shed a light on this evil. Pull back the curtain and show the world who the wizard is that's really pulling these strings. I been walking point on this for 6 months. Twitter deleted my last account 5 minutes after I sent my video to the Capitol Police asking who are these men. Google has demonetized my channel and stopped referring traffic to my website. Facebook deleted all of my live footage from January 6th and deemed me a dangerous individual or organization. Mark Zuckerberg has no idea how true that is. Because the truth is a weapon as deadly as anything formed by man. I want you to take possession of that weapon and wield it to devastating effect. With enough pressure on elected representatives and mainstream media, most of whom don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole because they're frightened. Except Kirsten Sinema and Josh Hawley and Representative Paul Gosar. They have expressed interest. They have taken possession of this video, and they are going to ask the FBI, the Department of Justice, and the Capitol Police some very tough questions. We'll take my information and plaster it everywhere that you can find. Tagging celebrities, politicians, and other influencers that can amplify this message. If they don't want to listen to truth, it is our responsibility as citizens of this great republic to shove it down their throats until they choke on it. Amen. And if you don't mind, I can use a little help too. Fighting tyranny is a little expensive, and I'm doing it on my social security alone. So please go to bobpowell.blogspot.com or the link in the bottom of the screen below and donate whatever will put you out towards my mission of saving lives and winning souls for Jesus Christ. Can you hold this for me for just a second? For any members of the media out there that want a copy of this footage, I'm going to read you a link to it right now. You download it. I relinquish all copyright. I don't care about getting paid on this. Okay, so here we go. Any attorneys or member of the media who want a copy of this video, text NCLU to 74121 and we will send you the link to download the file. Thank you for listening. My name is Bob Powell. As always, God bless. Semper Fi. Amen.
Thank you so much, Bob. Everybody follow Bob. He's a real investigative journalist. Like I said, far and few between in America right now. We need more of them. They're real patriots. So next we have another brief call, and I want to tell you about a specific case. This is the best friend. This is the first person I reached out to. So somebody sent me a story that there was a gentleman in D.C. that had cancer, and he was locked up in... Not yet, he was locked up in solitary confinement, tried to get his cancer treatments, but he was appealing and appealing and appealing. The judge won't let him out. So there's a guy named Chris Worrell in there, former military. He has cancer, stage 3, I believe, and he's not allowed to get his cancer treatments right now. He is being detained in solitary confinement. We have sent him letters. It took a month for his letters to get to him, and the only reason they gave him his letters is because they called their site, like I called there many times, and I have it on tape a called there many times wondering why he didn't get it, and said that I was going to report it to the media, file an investigation. Then magically the next day, he got his letters that were dated back to May, and this only happened, or I think it was a few days ago last week. So Chris was covered by the Gateway Pundit, and he mentioned his best friend Dave Chester, who was the first person I reached out really to on Facebook when I started investigating myself, all this crazy stuff going on. And then we got on a call with him, and he told us about Chris and his case. So Chris, this is crazy. I really need you guys to listen to this. He was not in the Capitol at any point. The only thing they have of him that they're keeping him in there on is a picture, which is, by the way, it's the new thing they're doing, the screen grab. They get video, they snap, what is it called? Screenshot video, right? And they use it as evidence in all these Justice Department and FBI affidavits that we read on the Justice Department website. Now, as you know, screen grabs can be manipulated, and I'll give you an example. There was a guy who was helping a police officer up off of the ground, who was knocked down. There's video of him helping him up. But there was a screen grab of him with the police officer in his arms. The Justice Department has charged him with throwing the police officer on the ground. This is a true story. You cannot make this up. There's video to substantiate that he was picking the police officer up. But the screen grab shows, look, this is a violent guy that attacked the police officer. He was throwing the police officer to the ground. Terrible. Chris Worrell, there's a picture of him spraying pepper spray. A little can, it was actually pepper gel, this big. There was nobody in front of him showing that it was there was no victim in front of him. They charged him with spraying a police officer. He told me he was spraying an Antifa person, and I believe him. I believe him. If the police had pictures and proof, they would have showed it. But for some reason, the screen grab that they have shows nobody in front of him. It just shows him spraying it and saying that he was, quote unquote, spraying a police officer, which is absolutely false. This is the one piece of evidence that they have against this guy with cancer. They have had him in there for months in solitary confinement. He caught COVID, he fell and hit his head because he's so sick. So his best friend, Dave Chester, we have him on a call for a minute, so listen in, everybody.
Thank you, Kara. Thank you so much, Randy. Thank you, everybody there listening to all of these wonderful people talking. And John Pierce, thank you so much for representing these patriots. I started writing out a whole bunch of stuff about Chris. I've known Chris for a long time. He's been incarcerated now for over 108 days. And I thought, because I've talked to him just about every single day that he's been in jail, except when they're moving him from one jail to another, and we speak either via phone, text message, or video conferencing, which is no longer allowed. So I asked him this morning, I said, I'm going to be speaking for this rally, and do you want a sickly tortured prisoner being held in D.C. prison, and myself and my family desperately need your help. The doctors here in D.C. jail have mocked and chastised me, telling me that my doctors are not qualified and denied me the medication prescribed by my Florida oncologist. As of today, I've been incarcerated 108 days. I spent my birthday last night in jail by myself with no treatment for a lymphoma. We're also being held in solitary confinement conditions, and the food has absolutely no nutritional value, and we eat on the floor. While being moved across the country from jail to jail, I also came down with COVID, further endangering my life as I have an immune-deficient cancer. Add to the unnecessary stress and mental anguish, and they basically sentenced me to a death sentence, or at least a very life not worth living, as I will be medically incapacitated. I have a beautiful wife, an awesome 15-year-old son that I am afraid I will never see again. They are also suffering and unnecessarily at the hands of our government. It is clear that my constitutional rights have no meaning. On March 12th, I was granted a pretrial release, only to have it revoked within minutes by the chief judge in D.C. After 7 court hearings with my lawyer, John Pierce, I have continually been denied release while our system dismisses cases for those who burn down our cities and police stations. There is obviously politically biased justice system that is ignoring our constitutional and due process. Please help me and my fellow patriots. My life truly depends on it. We are patriots through and through. We sing the national anthem every night at 9 p.m. Eastern, and welcome you to stand with us every night and sing loud and proud as we enter wherever you are. God bless you in the USA and every one of you fighting for us. Uhuru. My cash app is $, capital KAZUMDGC. If you could please donate any funds to his wife and his legal fight, we would be greatly appreciated. Kara and everybody there, thank you so much. God bless you. God bless America.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dave Chester. Can we turn this up a little? Okay, I want to quickly tell you guys something that I find very interesting, but I want everybody to hear this. Because it's my own theory, and I've spoken to a couple of people about it. When I initially heard about these guys being detained for 23 hours a day, haven't had any access to hygiene products like nail clippers, like basic soap at some points. Sometimes they're not able to shower. They're getting the worst of the worst when it comes to nutrition, and that goes for the guy who has cancer. You know, when you're fighting cancer, you need to eat properly. They're serving them breakfast at 2:30 in the morning. You know, they're just torturing these guys. They have nothing. They're not getting their mail. We send them books. They don't get the books. They have nothing. Guess what they have? And then I said to myself, wow, that's really weird. They give them a tablet to text and make phone calls every now and then. That's how Dave speaks to Chris. That's really nice of the government giving a tablet to prisoners, but they won't give them nail clippers. Why do you think that is? Can anybody guess? Entrapment. It's disgusting. They're reading all the messages, listening in on their calls, trying to find more people who they can round up and arrest, seeing who these guys are talking to, using their text messages against them. One guy had said something like, on a text, we all need to stand together to fight this. And they're like, oh, look what he wrote. See, they want another insurrection. They want to stand together to fight this. They're using their text messages against them. Okay? There's no other reason they would be so quote-unquote kind, the Department of Injustice, as Bob called them, to give them these tablets to text message unless they were trying to entrap them and spy on them. It's disgusting. I just had to get that out of my chest because I believe entrapment is completely unconstitutional and immoral and disgusting. Okay, so I'm going to call up the next speaker. Let's see if I can see him. Derek, where are you? Q and Derek. Gibson. Where is Derek? All right, in the meantime, all right, Derek is coming in. We're going to have one. We have somebody who was persecuted coming on after Derek. So we have a couple more speakers. Our last speaker is going to be the professor, who I'm sure you want to stay here to listen to. Professor Miller from NYU, everybody. New speaker on the circuit. NYU tried to fire this guy for teaching students to question the media and to fact-check science. They tried to fire him. His colleagues put a letter together to fire him, and the students were like calling for his firing, and he's fighting that. But he's coming on next. So in the meantime, this is Derek Gibson. He's running for New York State Governor. Kick Cuomo out and get normal people like Derek in office. I really believe that. Any politician that's here today are people first. Tina, Mark, and Derek. They're regular people that I know from my everyday life. They're not stuck-up politicians who are completely out of touch with who the Republican Party is now, or any party, the Democrats, any party. They're establishment and they're traitors. They're complete traitors, and this is living proof. There's people, American citizens, being treated like domestic terrorists in D.C. jail right now as we speak, in solitary confinement, being tortured, and no politician has spoken out, minus very few. They are cowards and they are traitors, and we are calling them out today to stand up for America and the Constitution you swore to protect. Derek Gibson, please come. Everybody give Derek a hand. This is Derek Gibson. He's running for New York State Governor. But first of all, he's a friend and he's a patriot.
Thank you, Carol, for that introduction. You want me to sing the hot song? Good afternoon, everybody. This park should be overrunning today.